Hey everybody, Book Jedi here, and sorry for the lighting, but um, I just finished a book by a booktuber here on YouTube, and his name is Richard Denney. Again, I'm probably slaughtering his last name, and I apologize if he's watching. I hope can correct me how to say his last name. The book that I actually read from him is called The Library of Souls by Richard Denney. And this is the book. As you can see, it's short. Um, I actually wish it was longer. That's the only downside to it. I wish it was longer. We are introduced to a boy named Simon Santiago, who is known as a spirit talker. And by spirit talker, that means he's like a medium. And he's around like maybe 12, 13, maybe 14 years old. I forgot that how old he was in here. But Mr. Denney actually said this is a middle grade book, but oh my god, at some points it's scary as hell. Literally, it's scary as fuck. And I was like, at some point I could, like while I was reading this today, I just finished it tonight. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I finished the book. And at some points, I actually started getting freaked out because I was alone for a while in my apartment. And yeah, never read a scary book when you're by yourself. It'll just make you panic. And I mean panic. So we meet Simon. Him and his uncle are like kind of like ghost hunters, but not ghost hunters. So it comes to the point where, they get hired for an odd job to expel the ghosts from this library that has a bunch of ghosts, a bunch of spirits, and he does succeed, but at some point, but the obstacles that he goes through to do so is great because, he's coming to terms with what he can do. And I understand that I just did a spoiler, which, oops, sorry. Trying to find good light. Yeah, there it goes. So basically, he tries to expel these ghosts, these spirits, and, you know, with all the obstacles that he does and stuff like that, it comes to the point where he feels like giving up. Because he feels like shit. But, with the loss of people he loved, it seemed like he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do what he knew was his nature. But I truly enjoyed this book. As I said, Mr. Denney, or yeah, I think it's Denney, or yeah. The author says that there's another book coming out probably next year. I think he said it's coming out next year. That means a whole year of wondering what's going to happen next. But if you check out his channel on YouTube, you can see where some of the humor in this book comes. And yes, there is some humor in here. But I love this book. And apparently, since it's supposed to be, I still can't believe that this is a middle grade book. This seems, I think it's one of those middle grade books that even an adult could get into and still be freaked out. And I mean freaked out. And then you're like, oh my god, or like, what the fuck? Or, did that seriously just happen type of moments. I give this a 5 out of 5 stars. The only complaint I have about it is that it's too small. Hopefully the next book is much bigger than this. So Mr. Denney, is the book gonna be longer? I ask you, is the book gonna be longer? Please let it be longer than 161 pages. Because you're leaving people wanting more with this, okay? Seriously, dude. I joke, but seriously, I do want. I do hope for a bigger book. I love this book. I seriously love the characters. The characters you fall in love with, except for one, and you know who. And but you'll understand. You'll see what happens if you pick up this book. I do highly recommend it, and I literally mean I highly recommend this book. It has a scary aspect. It has the cozy aspect, but it primarily has a scary aspect. You're rooting for Simon throughout the whole book. So I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. If you've read this book, dude. If you haven't, dude, read this book. Ciao for now, people.